Hello, welcome back to the George Scaife LFC channel. Hope you're all doing well. Today, Liverpool just lost 4-2 to AC Milan. We're going to put the score aside and focus on the tactics, the formation, the personnel, the positions a lot of these players are taking in. Were really awkward and strange. Let's talk about what they were and actually how they all worked together. It was a 4-3-3. On paper, you had three midfielders, Szoboszlai, Morton and Elliott. Your left-sided player was Ngamoa. Your right-sided player was Mo Salah. And Wirtz was your false nine. You had Robertson left-back, Stephenson right-back, and a centre-back pairing of Van Dijk and Gravenberch. Gomez, I believe, has gone home with a tendon issue or an Achilles issue, something like that. Obviously, I hope he recovers, but it's becoming very frequent with Joe Gomez, and it's quite frustrating. Let's talk about how it actually looked, though, because it was this. We saw the same thing against Preston. We saw the same thing against Stoke. It was a kind of 3-2-4-1. Similar thing. I mean, position-wise and personnel-wise, don't focus too much on it because it was very fluid. Like this midfield we'll talk about in a minute. Gravenberch was playing in this area here. I thought on the ball he was pretty impressive today, in my opinion. Obviously filling in there. He's not a natural centre-back, so you can only ask so much of him. Van Dijk was very good. I thought on the counter, actually, he could have done maybe better. I mean, who am I to talk about Van Dijk's defending? But against Leao in this scenario here, I thought it was quite passive, dare I say, with Van Dijk. But anyway, Robertson playing as this kind of tucked in left back / left centre back. I think it's an ideal role for him and a natural transition from a declining left back, a declining marauding left back, I should say. It was okay. Your midfield two was Morton, and it was a Szoboszlai / Elliott rotation. It was actually more like this than playing either side of each other. The problem with this is, right, Elliott wasn't very good. Elliott's had a poor game, which really put off the rotations. I thought it was one of his worst games in a while. I know it was only 45 minutes in a pre-season game with no stakes, no intensity, but he was really sloppy on the ball, and I thought he went missing at times. Szoboszlai on the other hand scored a really great goal we'll talk about in a minute and was really good. Brought the intensity, won a lot of his duels, and in our actual team, obviously in the Premier League, this will not look like that personnel-wise. It'll be, hopefully, Gravenberch in there, and this will be McAllister playing in next to him. Actually, swapped round. Morton was really good, a really refreshing performance, very metronome-like, a lot of passing to kind of Robertson, and just playing it off to your defenders, keeping the ball, playing the simple pass. The occasional one of them, but he's not keen on spreading it as Gravenberch is. Gravenberch actually is quite keen on running through. Morton is probably more likely to pass through than Gravenberch, but I just thought he was doing the simple things well today and keeping it really calm. He came off in the first half, then came back on in the second half, and I thought overall he had a decent game, Morton, so fair play. A lot of people giving him heat online. I think it's very necessary. I thought it was okay today, and Szoboszlai was definitely the better player than Harvey Elliott. This is the most interesting position on the pitch. Stephenson, what an interesting player this guy is, because against Preston, I'd never heard of him personally. I know he's an academy lad. He was a centre-half against Preston. I thought he was decent on the ball. I thought he naturally fit the team. I thought actually he handled it really well. Thrown in there, under the lights, first game back, and it was okay. Against Stoke, I didn't watch much of that game. It was a behind closed doors game, but he was playing a lot of football in this centre circle, like joining onto counter-attacks, getting into the box late. And then today, I was actually thinking he'd play centre-back, and Szoboszlai would play right-back like against Stoke. But no, he was the right-back. But he wasn't a right-back, he was tucking in at times, he was overlapping at times, he was linking with Salah. He was taking a defender out, so Salah would get more room. I was really impressed by his intelligence of that overlap. The timing of his runs was really impressive today. And yet, whether you like Stephenson or rate him or think he'll play next season, I probably don't think he'll feature really. But you've got to admire and praise his kind of flexibility, his adaptability. He's kind of that Swiss Army knife, really. He's played in 3 different positions, played very far forward and also very far back. He's not the most talented player on the ball, not the most naturally attacking player up here, in my opinion, but he's done a job, and I think actually that aggression he's offered in these last couple games, whether it's stepping into midfield, whether it's being in these positions, coming into the middle, winning his aerial duels from throw-ins, I think he's been pretty refreshing and quite a nice addition. Granted, he's had a few mistakes. I think he actually started the game quite slow today, but other than that, it's nice to see. Only played a half, of course, and then Frimpong came in. Salah was playing in here. Now, we've got to talk about Wirtz when we talk about Salah, because actually, I'm skipping the gun a bit here because I mentioned that kind of 3-4-3, which was weird because it wasn't that. It just wasn't that at all, but you got similar kind of ideas. Ngamoa playing a bit deeper at times. Szoboszlai just playing in behind Wirtz like this, bit wider, attacking maybe a bit further. Elliott playing a bit further up. It was like something like this at times. So I get the 3-4-3 comparisons, but I would still say it's a 3-2-4-1 in my opinion, or even a 3-2. It was even a 3-1-6-1 at times. with these two behind. Salah and Wirtz really linking up well. It was nice to see, obviously, your new signing, your new poster boy linking up with the best player in the team, so soon as well. He's just started playing. It's his second game, for God's sake, and he's popping it round here. They're playing some link-up play. Salah probably should have scored in the first 20 minutes, and that was just nice to see. Wirtz was really clean, really tidy, really polished outside the box. Didn't really lose the ball, very composed, and yeah, he's clearly always got his head up looking for that pass. He played a really nice pass over there at one point. It's so exciting. Playing as a false nine as well, which is where I thought actually he would feature this year before we signed Ekatike. Obviously, he didn't play. And then Engamo was so nice to watch today. So positive, so direct, so confident. How refreshing is that? Having a player of that age with that much confidence. He played every game so far and he's done himself proud. And he's putting up a really good argument and a conversation for I should play next year at some point, whether it be a cup game or a Champions League game and maybe a null and void game. This guy should absolutely feature, certainly if Luis Diaz leaves. Maybe not as a second choice, but maybe a third/rotation player. Let's talk about that second team that came in now for the second half. So it had actually changed, annoyingly for me, because this would just be so much easier saying they would play the second team. Sorry, the second team played the same system. They didn't really. It was quite annoying. And also what's quite annoying is it was quite hard to work out what was going on. One, because, let me just bring them all in here. Frimpong played. Sorry, you have to just excuse me. One, because Morton came back on the pitch, which was quite awkward to work out what the hell was happening. And Naoni was obviously playing in the first half, and then he carried on playing. So it was very confusing, but it was something like this, and I think we're all in there. Konate needs to come in as well, excuse me. Take this time, by the way, to leave a like on the video if you're enjoying, and subscribe. There's also a membership option now on the channel. I think it's like £1 a month, and you get some perks, and if you feel like giving back to the channel anyway, I'd really, really appreciate you. Yeah, you all mean the world, so thank you very much for that, and it's there if you need it. Morton played, he came on, didn't he? And I thought actually the first half was, I'd say, better than the second half. When he came back on, you had something like this similar kind of thing, but I just thought Kirkes was getting forward much more than... Is that enough players? 4, 2... Yes. Doak was playing up front, didn't really work, didn't really get the ball, but what can he do? He's not a striker. It was something like this. I just didn't like, personally. No, I did like, sorry. Did I like it? I don't know if I liked it. I'll tell you what I mean. Kirkes was getting so far forward, it was like, wow, that's a lot. So that kind of 3, which I was saying about... You had this kind of shape here. In your first phase, you had something like this. Jones and Naoni kind of rotating. So you had your 3, 2, 4, 1. Frimpong playing as an inside forward at times. Bradley, these two interchanging, taking it in turns to move into the space. Doak trying to get into these areas with his pace, and it wasn't really working. I don't think he had that natural awareness of a centre forward. 3, 2, 4, 1. But with Kirkes being obviously more attacking than Robertson and having more of a licence to get forward, it actually ended up being something like this, and I just thought it was a bit much. You had this kind of 2... Say we're on the attack here, right? Say we're there. Gakpo's right on the last man. Frimpong was on the last man. Bradley was kind of in here, wanting to get round there at one point. You had Konate holding. You had Tsimikas coming to give support. This is what it was in attack, and when we lost the ball for that second-to-last goal, it was because of this. And it was obviously a great finish. The ball came in. It was a first-time finish. Really good. But you've got to do better at, firstly, not losing the ball, but secondly, winning it back in this area. The whole idea is you play so far forward that you have to win it back when you're far up, because if it gets past to here, you've got Tsimikas and then Konate, and your players are sprinting back for going hell for leather. So I just want to see a bit more balance. Granted, it was a pre-season game. Granted, the intensity wasn't there. It was a very broken, fragmented team. When you get your first 11 out playing this, it might be better. These players will become naturally more, synergised, is that a word? But I mean, in terms of rotations, they'll know exactly what each other are doing. There were times where Jones was coming in, there was a big space here and there, and he wasn't. But I think the rotations will become much more apparent. Yeah, and if this is our first 11 against Bournemouth, say, I expect this not to happen. So take it with a pinch of salt. But it was just a bit much. At times, this kind of 2-2-6 against a good side, AC Milan, a Champions League side. Granted, if they're rotated or whatever. That seems a lot. And, we had 4 fullbacks on the pitch at one point, so what can you really take from this? It's not a very valid point to make. It's quite unfair to say, we're quite poor here. We had 4 fullbacks on the pitch, one of them playing centre-half, 2 young midfielders. I think Gravenberch played as well for a bit. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down below. It was very interesting. I thought Szoboszlai's goal in the first half was great. A really interesting technique. He kind of stabbed into it, didn't he? It wasn't like a knuckle or it wasn't a side foot. He just almost, I don't know, cushioned it in, like kind of eased the ball in with his a little stabbing motion. It was really nice. And then the Gakpo goal at the end was cool. Back post finish, we'll see a lot of them this year. Engamoa, really nice. What are like 5 points we could take from this? Engamoa's one, Stephenson's another. Wirtz and Salah, I think this kind of counter-attacking problem is another point we could definitely take from it. And I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Give me another one that we could take from this. What did you think of the game? This analysis, do you agree with anything I'm saying? If not, please let me know. I'm really interested to hear what you have to say and how you've seen that game. Because I think when you've got 22 players on the pitch, you're playing a pre-season game with different halves, different things going on. It's very hard to all agree, I think. So let me know your thoughts. I'm really interested, and leave a like down below. Nice one, guys. See you later. Bye.